This is Wesley.
This is Kashina.
And we would like to welcome you to
the Underground Geek Shack. I can at least say one thing.
What's up?
The sun is not destroying us this time.
That is true.
I am so glad, because trust me guys, last episode, I felt like the freaking demons from Demon Slayer. I was burning.
I felt like I was about to disappear. But we aren't here to talk about demons.
Nope.
Hey, do you want to know something?
What?
You know, like, comment, and subscribe.
Is this a YouTube channel?
I guess it is.
Oh my god. I love that. So, today is going to be kind of interesting because we're just going to be talking about YouTube. Well,
yeah, pretty much.
Specifically, our history with YouTube. Because I would say...
Gotta dig back through the archives.
We gotta dig back through the archives. We are the generation that started getting more into internet. Like, if you ask my mom, when she was young, the internet wasn't really as popular as it once is now. But we're the generation where we're like, yeah, internet became one of our main sources of entertainment, and YouTube came out during our lifetime. Like, I remember YouTube most heavily impacting my life once I hit like middle school.
Yeah.
Actually, it's slightly before that, but I remember it most vividly through for middle school.
Yeah. Because most of them times... Yeah, because back in middle school, you'd sit there and be like, yo, I found this new clip. And the funny thing is, almost everyone at the time would be huddled around one computer.
Exactly.
Trying to sit there and watch the clip. Ooh, I can't see.
What is it? What is it? So, why are we talking about YouTube? Well, I know it might seem kind of strange. We are a geek-oriented podcast. We talk about everything geek-related. I feel like YouTube... You know,
your anime, your video games.
Yeah, your anime, your video games, your
mangas. Your manga. Yeah. Why did we turn into New Yorkers?
I don't know what happened, because we are not New Yorkers, I can assure you. But, I feel as though there is a culture when it comes to YouTube. Mm-hmm. Let me just say this now. The way that I am now when it comes to my entertainment, I don't watch TV anymore.
I mainly go to YouTube.
Same. I watch YouTube like all the time. If I'm not watching anime or playing video games, I'm just watching YouTube. Yep. I'll pop on a YouTube video and I'm like, this is my entertainment.
I mean, heck, when we had the whole Olympics, I watched that through YouTube.
Like YouTube. And, you know, even though YouTube is now trying to promote itself as, like, a TV streaming service, I don't use it as, like, for TV streaming and stuff like that. I'll just watch people's videos. Like, that's all I do. That's my entertainment. Like,
after I watch an anime, I sit there and I'm like, okay, cool. What are other people's thoughts on this? I'll go on YouTube.
I was about to ask you, it's like, if you're not watching anime or watching something on Netflix that's most likely anime, what are you usually watching? YouTube. Gaming videos. Do you even use cable TV anymore?
No.
I'm about to say the same thing. It's just,
used to watch Cartoon Network. You can find that on YouTube.
I'm about to say, just watch it on YouTube. Heck, they have their own YouTube channel now.
Yep.
But we're going to go back to a time, and we're going to build ourselves up to current YouTube now. Because current YouTube now is a lot different from the YouTube that I started with. Yeah. So, let me start off with, when do you first vividly remember YouTube? Like, do you know around what age you kind of like really got into it?
I know it was still within either middle school or elementary going into middle school. Mm-hmm. And because it's weird that I remember this because during that time of us being young, it was when at the time when you had the fan animations of like the Sonic fan animations of like actual fights that were going down. They were all in 8-bit form.
Oh my god, yes, I remember those.
I was like, okay, I remember this because there was a fight between Sonic and Tails, but for some reason, like at first it was a friendly match, but then for some reason Tails went all evil and went all pink with red eyes, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then apparently that version of Tails was able to take out Super Sonic and Super Shadow, and I was like, can nobody stop this man? And then before we knew who Silver was, some random super looking dude comes in and I think he said his name was like Buster or something like that. And I'm like, is that a name? Is that his name? Did you just rip that from Arthur?
Oh my god. So yes, actually you saying that out loud reminded me of like remember the Sonic videos I used to watch all the time? But they were so dumb. It was like the Adventures of Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. It's the 3 hedgehogs, and one was called like Silver Goes to Jail. And oh my god. When you said that, I was like, I remember these. I remember specifically watching these because I think I've mentioned it before, but I'm a huge Sonic fan. But I'm more of the fan of the comics, or I was a fan of the comics more than the video games. I haven't seen either of those recently. The latest Sonic thing I've seen was the Sonic movie, but still, I'm like a huge Sonic fan. And so my childhood was spent just watching, absorbing these Sonic videos. And you saying that, I was like, I remember that. I remember that thinking to myself, what is happening?
Exactly! Because, like, that was something I used to watch, and then, like, you know, me still growing up with the anime and everything, that was actually how I got into AMVs, and I was like, I never, because I know we've talked about AMVs in the past, either past episodes for the Geek Check or past episodes for In Between the Lines, and I remember, I'm like, I never knew what an AMV was at the time, and I was just, all I remember was just hearing rock music. And I was like, yo, this is good, but it was good with different clips from different anime, and I was like, that's how I knew about Fooly Cooly. Didn't know what Fooly Cooly was. I know what it is now, but I didn't know what it was back then. And I'm like, why is this chick coming in with the guitar? Where did she come from? But then it was cool because like the way how like each image would like intertwine with one another, and it'd be like, oh, you see Haruko coming with the guitar, and you think she hits Naoto, but then the guitar swings and ends up hitting someone else, but it's from a different anime, and you're like, what is going on here?
Oh my god, that it brings me back. Okay, so I like how yours was like a little bit more of an epic intro into freaking YouTube. You went in epically. I went in kind of derpy. So yeah.
Also the fan animation dubs.
Oh my god.
Those were the most interesting ways that I've gotten into anime. Because like, you know, we had what, 4Kids TV growing up.
Yes.
And so like you would sit there and you're like, oh, this is cool, but then you sit there and you're like, I can't remember what happens at this certain episode. So let's say it was like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX or whatever. You go on YouTube, type in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, call up your friend, yo, what episode was it? It was episode 10 or whatever. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episode 10. You didn't know if it was in English or not. I didn't put English dub, English sub.
That wasn't a concept in my brain at that moment.
Just type in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episode 10, enter. And then you have Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episode 10. And then you're like, oh, that's cool because it has a picture of Jaden on it. So you click it. And then, so it's going. But then you're like, this doesn't sound like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
This doesn't sound like Jaden.
Because it's in another language. But then you're just like, what is going on here? But then you see the fan translations down at the bottom in different colors. And you're like, ooh,
colors!
You're like, okay, everything in red text is Jaden, everything in blue text is this dude.
So you're like,
and I'm just like, you're just like, okay, but then you get further along into it, and it just goes from color text to white, and you're just like, I don't know who's who anymore.
You're like, dang it, it's all in white.
You're like, who is speaking? What's going on here? And then all you hear is Blue Eyes White Dragon Doll.
Blue Eyes White Dragon Doll.
And then you're just like, I know that card.
That's familiar. Oh my god. I love it. Oh my god. Like I said, you went in like more epically than I did. So let me tell you about my intro into what is now known as YouTube.
But then again, back then, this is when everything was like more mainstream for us.
Yeah, when things kind of like made a little bit more sense. So YouTube at the beginning for me, I would say the very first thing I vividly remember was when I was in middle school and my social studies teacher said, hey, I have a video to show you. And we were like, oh, and YouTube was like not allowed at school, but teachers had a way to bypass the YouTube thing. And he said, my friend's daughter messed up and broke the coffee table. And so she decided to post a video to show how she did it. And I was like, what? Because I've seen YouTube before this, and it was more or less like, you know, I used to scroll like troll around on Newgrounds all the time and watch videos on there.
I remember Newgrounds.
I feel like Newgrounds and other websites should have their own episode because that's also my childhood.
Yep.
But I used to troll around on Newgrounds and stuff like that. And then I remember going on to Google and typing up like Sonic, and it said like there was a Sonic movie. And I was like, a Sonic movie? Ooh, and it came out in like 1987 and 1997. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard of this. Watched it all on YouTube. I was like, what?
Yep.
You can watch things on YouTube? And I watched Bobo on YouTube.
Yep, I remember that.
Like, yes. And then I made the greatest mistake of my life. I was a huge Sonic X fan.
Yo, I remember Sonic X.
If you know about the X culture, you're about to find out what happened to me, my poor virgin eyes. I was not ready for this. This is how I was introduced to. You know what? I can mention this. There's this culture called yaoi. There's a subculture called yaoi. It's a boys' love culture. I'm not gonna go too explicitly into it because that is out of our rating range. But no. You're not nice. But no. So I was a huge Sonic X fan. And I was just like, oh, I was so down to clown with it, right? And then I was like, oh, I remember Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic X. So my little virgin self, my little sweet innocent child, like elementary school child self, put onto YouTube Sonic X Shadow. Because I wanted to see Shadow from Sonic X. That was not what popped up.
No, when you said Sonic X,
yes.
my mind
yes.
went to the cartoon Sonic X.
That's what my mind was trying to go to as well.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I remember because Sonic, I was really fascinated with Sonic X, the TV show.
Exactly,
the
Sonic
TV show.
X.
Like, you're just like, okay, I associate everything for this show with this, the way that your mindset was with, okay, everything for Sonic X. I know those characters and everything. Let me see if I can look them up on YouTube.
Yes.
But then you don't realize if you just type in Sonic X,
I didn't know. Like I said, this is my intro into yaoi and pairing culture. So I didn't know that.
That's what I found weird. Was that because I was young at one point.
I was young at one point.
And it was weird because there were times when like I would try to look up stuff for like Sonic X to see if like it went further into like discussing like what were these different things within the show or whatever.
Yeah. And
it was just weird because then I started getting like clips of other Sonic characters being paired with one another, and I'm like, this is a little bit weird.
That was my intro. But yeah, so
there were some of it where it was before people started putting X between things to like pair people together.
Yeah.
So it was like Sonic and Shadow. It was like Shadow and something else, and I'm like, this is a little bit awkward. I'm just gonna move on. Let me see what game is coming out.
So like that was kind of like my intro, but here's like my reintroduction because after that I got a little fumble, and after my mom walked in and she said, "Oh no!" So then I had to get away from YouTube because mom was like, "YouTube is dangerous. Don't do that." And I was like, I was young and I listened to my mom and I was like, "Okay, but no, YouTube is dangerous." But then my social studies teacher, back to the actual story of how I got back into it, said, you know, my friend's daughter did something stupid and we're gonna watch a video about it. And I was like, cool. And so it was Scarlet Takes a Tumble. And then
that's a hilarious title.
Have you ever seen it?
Might have.
It was like of that girl singing on the table, and she said Heather and I, and it's a
Yep.
So that's how I was reintroduced into YouTube because of that video. I ran straight home after school that day. Mom came home. I said, I have to show you something. So I went on to YouTube. She said, what did I say about YouTube? I was like, wait. This is good, I promise. And then I showed her that video. And she's like, oh my God. And then we just got into like the funny video phase. That I got into it when funny videos was just all over the thing.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce Clown. I don't know if you ever seen Beyonce Clown. The remix to This Is Sparta. It was hilarious. Numa Ye, like all that stuff.
Yep, I remember that.
I came into that, and then it was Shane Dawson, and it was that crowd. Shane Dawson, I Am Fred. You know, it was all those stupid little videos. Tobuscus.
Fred, I remember that.
Oh my God, yeah, I Am Fred. Some of Annoying Orange, but I didn't get into it because I hate Annoying Orange. It was always such a.
And then the fact that I got it up to its own TV show too was weird as well. I was like, who
okayed this?
Who okayed this?
Who said yes? This is for children's consumption. You're like, what?
No, it's...
And then, like that was my intro into it. But then there was another intro that I am still in it today. Gameplay channels. Specifically, the very first one I got into, and I don't know how I got into it. PewDiePie.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually know about PewDiePie, but like. When I actually moved into the place that I am now, I should say when me and my family moved into the current place right now, I knew about it. Like me and my brother got into Dashie at the time, and so we were like, "Yo, this dude's hilarious!" And my mom was like, "Y'all need to turn it down. He's too loud."
What up, Dashie? Welcome back to
So like, you know, we got into Dashie, and so like, you know, we've been following him ever since since like middle school going onward, and we're like, oh my gosh, we've been following this man for this long, and it's just like, I got into that, then I started getting into like other things. I started getting into like analysis videos, and like one person I look at sometimes is Murder with Herbs. And well, that was more like when I started getting into like Mr. Soup content more for like Ruby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, because nobody in my household looked at it. In all honesty, I was like, Mom didn't look at it. My brother didn't look at it.
He was like, I'm the only one.
I'm the only one. I couldn't really talk to you about it because you were like, bro, what the heck are you talking about?
This is like slightly before I really got back into anime. So
yeah, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you don't understand. This is some good stuff. And then I'm sitting there like, oh wait, yo, come with me to the library. So this particular morning, we go into the library. And I'm sitting there searching it up on YouTube, and I'm like, yo, here's the Ruby trailers, and you're just like, oh boy, these are a couple seconds of my life I'm not gonna get back. And then you looked at it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is good.
Listen, okay, back then I was a pessimist. Now I'm just kind of like, yeah, show me. Because I was put off because
that
of like
was
the bad
also how
animation.
I knew about
Monty, oh yeah.
Yeah, from Halo Fantasy.
Halo Fantasy? Oh.
Yeah. Because I was like, what is this? This is cool. And I was like, that's how I got introduced to Samus. That's how I got introduced to freaking Master Chief. And I'm like, God. Who are these people?
Oh my god. So yeah. I'm trying to think back to like, I'm thinking back to like my reintroduction because like you, oh my gosh, I just remembered once I got back into YouTube, that was it. My life was then sold on to YouTube. It was in like Rooster Teeth, Markiplier, Chaotic Monkey, and stuff like that. I don't know if you know about Cry. What other?
I know about Game Theory. Well, I got into Game Theory recently.
Yeah, I got into Game Theory when it first started to come out. Yeah. I got into Game Theory because of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I remember Five Nights at Freddy's so vividly because. Oh my god, my freaking high school was just all about Five Nights at Freddy's. Yep. I just loved it so much also. So we've talked about it during our Halloween episode thing, but it's because of YouTube. I'm actually into horror games because I can't play it in real life. I'm too jumpy, I get too nervous, I get too frantic. If they give me a gun, I will pre-fire and just you waste all of my bullets for one enemy.
Everything she says is true. Because we've had her play a horror game before.
Stop.
We'll get into that though. But yeah, she gets. Even when we did Sekiro.
Oh my god, whenever something jumps out to me as Sekiro, I play Sekiro, but let me tell you, I am the L1 spammer. I spam my freaking block and I'm like...
Or as what I had did, botch the entire plan.
All you hear from me is...
Just like, Wesley, what are you doing?
But like, there are some video game series that I really, really love, but I can't play all that well. So I use YouTube. Life is Strange? I'm not really into Life is Strange.
When I say Life is Strange, D and I played D's my brother, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
You probably do know, but for those of you who don't know.
It was from like way when we first started, we introduced him.
Yeah. And so, D and I had played the first Life is Strange.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, this is really interesting because it's a person who can travel back in time. And we were like, yo, this is pretty cool. And now there's 2 more, and he's like, wait. There's 2 more?
There's 2 more?
It was like, no. No.
Because
we liked the first one, but we didn't realize that there's 2 more different versions of Life is Strange.
Yeah.
So it goes in order, pretty much. And you're just like, okay. And then you're like, you realize about the second one, that like the one that has 2 brothers, you're like, I'm not really that much all into it. Then you know about this last one, you're like, oh, no, that's interesting.
That is really interesting. What was it? Oh yeah. So.
I did not mean to like.
No. My brain is like trying to scramble because I'm just going down memory road right now. I just hear all this. I'm like, oh my god, I just remember all this. So, what my daily routine was when I was younger. It's still kind of not is now. My routine is mostly like free time is spent on YouTube most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know you told me not to get addicted to the internet, but this is my life now. But no, so this was and let me know if your daily routine was like mine. I would get home from school. I was usually the first one home, so I got onto the computer when I wasn't supposed to. Bad Kashina. But I would get home and I would watch YouTube. Like I would get into. A good example. I used to watch this RPG Maker game called The Witch House.
I feel like I might have seen that.
And I would watch it through one YouTuber, and then I would finish it. And then I realized some of my other YouTubers play it too. So I would watch them play through it as well and see multiple different people play through it. This would be for like a month. I would be on a Witch House binge of watching one YouTuber play through it and see who else played through it and watch them and see their reactions to it. And that would be like my daily routine. Is I would get home, get onto YouTube, watch, delete the history so my mom doesn't know that I was on YouTube, get off the computer. When Mom came home, she'd be like, okay, cool, you get your hour on the computer, then I watch YouTube.
She said I found the way to cheat the system.
I said, reality is how I make it. I have the show.
Oh my gosh.
But like, that was like my daily routine from middle of middle school, all the way through high school. And then college, when I got my own phone and I could like have mobile Wi-Fi. Oh man, you done messed up, kid. Because it was YouTube then all the way there.
I mainly spent like most of my time back then. Sometimes it would be on YouTube, sometimes it wouldn't be. Most times, if I was on YouTube, it'd be to find cheat codes.
Find cheat codes. Like, now my YouTube watching habits have completely changed.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch specific gameplays anymore. Like, if there's an interesting...
I still watch gameplays.
Like, if there's an interesting game that's out and I'm like, yeah, I would like to watch a gameplay about it, I'll watch it. But, like, I don't do that as much anymore. Sometimes I'll do it for the nostalgia factor, or I'll just go back to older playthroughs and just watch those. But nowadays, it's more or less just like, what's on YouTube today? I'll type in something random and all of a sudden I'm down a rabbit hole. And I don't know how I got to the end and I don't know how I started.
See, because like, for me, I still watch gameplays and everything like that. Even if I have the game. Because you know this. Like, Persona 5, Johnny Awesome, stuck with him all through that. I bought Persona 5 Strikers and I was just like, I started it. So no one can say, Wes, you never started Persona 5 Strikers. That is not true. I have started it. But here's the thing. I started it, but then I just watched Johnny Awesome. I'm just
Oh my god.
I mean, yes, this is going on record, but yes, I did watch Johnny Awesome all the way through. So now I have all the lore, and I'm just like,
see. Yes. Continue.
I do like the fact that I sat here and I watched Johnny Awesome all the way through. Sorry, I'm using you as a pointer.
Yes, no. Continue. Continue. So we're at the beginning. No. Continue.
So, about the game, right?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna spend like majority of the summer trying to play through this game. Started in Shibuya.
Yeah.
Made it out of the dumpster.
That was the furthest. Oh, so you only got through like this much. You know what? I can't even lie.
Oh, wait.
Further.
We made it through the dumpster and we met Sophia.
Yeah. And you know how much further I am from you?
How much further?
So this is where you are right now. This was the beginning, right?
Yep.
This is where he is.
Oh my gosh.
Because I haven't even, like, I've seen Alice, but we haven't, like, fought her yet. So I'm literally at that point, too.
Same.
And I got the game the first day it came out. But see, there's a difference between me and you. I can't watch a YouTube series about it because I'm the person that likes to play through the game, and I'm more motivated to stay with the game if I don't know how it ends.
See, because like I know how it ends, but then the thing is that I always put everything I know about the game to the back, so that I completely wipe from the forefront, and I'm just like, snap! I don't remember how this game actually ends now. And little do I know, subconsciously, yeah, you know how the game ends.
I slightly spoiled myself for Persona 5 Royal about, I think I accidentally found out that Dr. Maruki was the bad guy through some fan art, because I was like, I wonder what the new house is going to be. And then I was scrolling through Tumblr one day, not Tumblr, I was scrolling through Twitter looking at Persona 5 Royal fan art, and I saw Dr. Maruki in an outfit. And it's his palace outfit. And my brain was like, no. Was I just spoiled? Then I found out, I was like, nothing!
See, because
but I didn't know anything about the palace. All I knew was that he was the next person.
The only thing that I want to complete is Persona Q2. That's the only game that I have not watched somebody else play. Okay, I take that back. I only watched Johnny Awesome play a little portion of it. And that's only up to the point where we are now. When we are at Gymnastic Land.
Yeah.
I stopped at that certain point. He already completed the entire game. I have not watched that entire gameplay. Only because my mom would always come in and she's like, don't you already have the game? Mom, I'm not making fun of you. I swear.
Mom, please wait.
And so, she's like, but don't you already have the game though? Which she does make a point. I already have the game, so why shouldn't I just play it completely through? So I just made a point to stop at that point. I only actually looked at his gameplay just so I can see how he made his map.
So you can look at his map, so you don't have to do it yourself.
I would tell Mom that too, and Mom was like, well, why do you continue to look at it? I was like, so I can see how he drew the map. And Mom was like, tell me any old thing, why don't you? And I'm like, no, I'm serious. Every time she looked at the TV was on pause, and then you just see me on my DS trying to figure out how to draw the map.
I feel like, oh crap, we went off rails. We talked about Persona so much. But no, so back to YouTube. Because we're getting close to the end of the episode. So I would say,
oh yeah, now YouTube is now with the whole child-friendly stuff.
Yeah, so our growth with YouTube, like I said, we started out when YouTube was like a wild field with like anything. A lot of stuff was like a lot of stuff was genuinely funny. There wasn't no ads in between stuff. It was just YouTube and YouTube videos. Then there came ads. It was a slight annoyance, but I was like, makes sense.
And it's like now every time you every time you go and watch a video, there's like 100 different ads.
Or no. When things started getting bad for me, adpocalypse, where YouTube was like, we're gonna push for more ad-friendly stuff, and then things started turning more family-friendly, and then all of a sudden it's just
Nothing but
YouTube
ads.
turned into a corporate. Now, we're not going to get too much into YouTube politics.
Yeah.
We're going to steer as far away from that train as possible.
That is one thing we have made since day one of this podcast.
Yeah, we never want to go into politics, but I would have to say the way that YouTube is now, I still enjoy it. I'll still go back to it because I just love YouTube and I love my creators. And I like how some of them has like gone away from like needing to be family friendly because you know they have their own sponsors now. But still, it's just that the way YouTube was is the way that I truly love it. When it was just wild, you can almost do anything that you want given certain guidelines.
Also, it also requires you to also be creative too.
Yeah, and because like we've also tried to create our own YouTube channel. Little do y'all guys know, despite us making a YouTube channel now,
the first ever YouTube channel that we made was called The Midnight Crew.
The Midnight Crew.
And that was supposed to be like
a gaming channel with skits. Oh my god.
The first game that we ever tried to get Kishida to play.
Oh my god.
And what was it? It was like...
It was that horror game that we talked about that one time.
It was,
the
8-bit one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
I'm trying to remember. Dang.
Like here's the game. It's called this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's just being a YouTuber now is not as easy as it was back then. Back then it was just like having fun.
Yeah.
Now it's you can have fun, but you're not gonna make money off of it. So now a lot of people are just more or less pushing to make money and not have as much fun with it as they once did before.
Yeah.
So I guess to end off this episode, let's name off like top 3 YouTubers that we just still currently enjoy now.
Dashi.
Okay.
Murder of Birds. And Corey Kenshin.
Corey Kenshin.
Yep.
Markiplier. And who would be my third one?
You still watch Dashi from time to time?
I still watch Dashi from time to time, but I'm not like a main. Like, he's not like my main stuff. So let's see. Corey, Markiplier, and I guess Game Theory. I like Matt Pat. Matt Pat makes me laugh.
I remember when everyone used to get like stressed out whenever he would be on the couch. You're like, oh no, that's on the couch again. What's happening?
What's happening? And now we're just kind of like, oh, well, you know, let's see how this one goes. Yep. But yeah, so like that was like our messy history with YouTube.
Yeah.
Because we went on so many sidetracks, but it's just more or less just reliving the memories of YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Like YouTube will always love you, and we know you have your faults, but we still love you, no matter what. And I know this was like a weird episode because, you know, given our past content, to talk about YouTube is just random. But, I mean...
We talked about books before.
And YouTube is a fandom. Like, you have people who are diehard fans of certain creators. So, I would say, yeah, we're still in the realms of geeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And plus, it's also good for some people to know, too.
Yeah. You know, even though most people nowadays know YouTube, it's just good to know that, you know, just YouTube is just YouTube. Yeah. It's just awesome.
You still make some money. Yeah. Well, that's it for us.
Thank you guys for listening.
And we hope you've enjoyed
your visit to
the Underground Geek Shack.
Bye.
Bye, guys.